It's been great.
Well, and it's just the price for what we were getting was better than any other places we could find.
Well, that was intentional, right? We didn't over-amenitize the community. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you came from before you came to this community.
So I'm an optometrist. I work at ABC Vision. Jody is currently a homemaker, staying with our little boy.
Awesome. You are our audience. Folks that have one child, especially a young kid, baby like such as yours. That's the group that we want to cater to because they're not quite ready to move into their own home yet. And they don't want to live in an apartment.
Yeah, it's been a really great in-between step for us, for sure. I grew up here in Idaho Falls, and Brian grew up in Oregon, but we met in Utah and lived out of state for like 10 years. 2 years ago, we moved back to town. So our first year here, while we were trying to figure out where to live, we lived with my mom. And during that year, we were kind of looking around trying to find a place to live. And then we moved here about maybe a little over a year ago.
So in your minds, how is, living in a new townhome community different from living in an apartment complex? What's the difference for you?
I feel like it feels more like we have our own space. In apartments, I felt kind of like crammed in. We're like, I always had neighbors on sides and above and below. And here, even though we share a wall, I don't really feel much like we're being interfered by other people.
Yeah, it definitely feels a lot more like a step towards just like having our own house.
Right.
It's more comfortable.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
More spacious too than an apartment.
It's for sure, yes.
Yeah.
Certainly more. Townhomes definitely are a bit bigger than apartments. Tell us about the community. What do you like about the community?
The location's great.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Very close to everything we want to get to, center of town, but not too busy. Like, it's not loud. The grounds are well kept for.
And I would also say I feel like this is a good size of community. Like it doesn't feel so huge that we're like lost.
Yeah, average apartment complex is probably twice this size.
Yeah.
And it's very dense, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's sort of mushed up against each other.
Yeah.
So we built it with the Central Park. Have you had a chance to use any of the amenities, dog park or the Central Park?
Yeah. We our little boy is a little too small to use the playground, but we had our his sister and her family visit, and they have a little toddler, and we took them over and had a really good time over at that little playground.
Yeah. And when our boy gets a lot older, or even just a little older, we're going to be using a lot more.
We walked with the stroller or the baby carrier most days around. So
how are the neighbors?
Oh, good. Yeah, everyone we've ever met has been really nice, super friendly, and
no complaints at all.
Courteous. Yeah.
In terms of places that are nearby that you frequent, tell us a little bit about those.
Well, we go to Sam's Club a lot, especially in the winter when we needed a place to go on walks with our baby. Home Depot and Lowe's, Community Park we go to quite often.
Yeah. And I mean, lots of food places around. McDonald's, KFC's just right there. Starbucks is great. Get a drink in the morning.
It's nice to be able to walk to all of these places.
Yeah. That's very true.
There's also an Apple Athletics Club, I think, that's over on the other side of the street.
Actually, last summer I used to go to like the prenatal classes over there, which is super convenient. So.
And we'll see people walking over there all the time.
Yeah.
It's just nice to be able to walk to the club.
Yeah.
When you were searching through apartments and townhomes, how did you find this place, and then how did you narrow down to this community?
I grew up just south of 25th Street, and so this, like, cutting through this neighborhood was a very common way to, like, get over to this side of town.
Nice.
So we were driving by all the time when we were staying with my mom. So we watched it, like, being built. Yeah, so that's kind of fun to see. And then when we were looking around, we did tour several different townhomes in the area. Our decision came down to, like, for the price and having it be new to us, like, being the first people to live here was, like, really appealing to us. So
that's always fun, right?
Yeah,
so being the first tenant is absolutely amazing and it looks brand new.
Yeah, it's been great.
Well, and it's just the price for what we were getting was better than any other places we could find.
Well, that was intentional, right? We didn't over-amenitize the community because we were like, well, we want annual rents to be somewhere in that $20,000 range so that, people who make $60,000 can afford this community, right? We were trying to hit middle America. Yeah. That's why we didn't build the fancy pools and things like that. That just drives the price up beyond that level. So I'm very happy to hear that because that's really our mission. So we're on a mission to build 10,000 rental townhomes. It's called Mission 10K. And our goal is to serve communities and folks such as you.
Cool.
That's wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Any features or amenities that you got here you felt like you weren't getting elsewhere?
Garage, like that.
Having garage space and a driveway was huge because it seemed like a lot of places that had a garage or a driveway of your own were up in a higher tier.
Or a lot older, or at least for the bedrooms and bathrooms that we get plus to have a garage, then it was either older or just more expensive.
And honestly, we weren't looking as much for like community amenities. amenities. Like we appreciate that here there are some, you know, there's a playground, there's the dog park, but in our past places we've lived, we haven't really benefited that much from having a pool or having a fitness center or anything like that.
I'm so happy to hear that because to me, what happens is when I build a pool and I build communities with pools and fitness centers, well, the price goes up like $300-400 a month. And then you're basically squeezing middle America out when you're doing that. So
they don't get used as much as
you use them for the first month.
Yes, yes, exactly. Right. So they all they do is help the developer move people in, right? Selling the sizzle, but it doesn't really help from the perspective of serving the community's needs.
I agree.
We're going to be telling our investors about this. They'll be very happy to hear from you. We've shown them the community, but we've never shown them about the people living there. I'm so thrilled to meet with you. It's taken me 5 years to build this. It's just, I've been so lucky. We're giving you the opportunity to invest alongside us, where we've reduced the risk, we've massively boosted the returns, and we have an amazing track record of doing this over and over again. To see the full details and get invested in our deal, please click the link below.